What is up, guys? This is Hassan Zafar, and I just bought iPhone 15 Pro Max. So guys, I have been using my 13 Pro Max for more than 2 years, but now I have upgraded to iPhone 15 Pro Max, which I am loving so far. So I upgraded my phone like after 2 years of 2 iterations of iPhones, but let's see, is this iPhone worth upgrading from 13 Pro Max? Let's find out. So starting with the design, the iPhone 15 Pro Max is kind of a redesign from Apple. We have new materials here. Previously, Apple has been using stainless steel, which was unique in its own kind in the mobile phone industry. But now Apple has shifted to titanium frames, and that's a grade 5 titanium that's being used in spacecraft. It's a big step up, and it's more stronger, it's more beneficial and more light. The one thing that you'll instantly notice after carrying an iPhone 15 Pro first time in your hand is the weight of it. It's much lighter than 13 Pro Max or 14 Pro Max. Technically, it's just 20 grams lighter, but in hand it feels a lot lighter because of the curved edges and the lighter material. And secondly, Apple also reduced its bezel sizes, or because of that, the phone is now a little bit narrow. It feels better in the hand. It feels much more easier to use. The new highlight of the phone is new color, natural titanium. I bought my 13 Pro Max in Sierra Blue. I love this color. The back was really nice of this color. The frosted blue looked really nice, but the side rails, not so much. So when Apple launched natural titanium, I was happy that there is like a light gold-like color. It's more of a mixture of grey and golden. In reality, it looks more like grey, but with the hints of golden. But I love this color because I love golden in iPhones, and also the grey is my favorite color. So I am loving this phone, and it's all matte. It feels really good in the hand. So talking about the design, Apple also gave us a new button here, action button, which I don't think so is too useful. 2 reasons, hear me out. First of all, it's at a very odd position, like here. You can't just instantly reach it. It should have been here somewhere on the right side, but no, it's on the top of the left side, which is very inconvenient. Secondly, the whole purpose of this action button is you can do certain things very quickly, but when you have to hold it for 2 seconds, that makes it long. For example, I am mostly using it for camera, so swiping right will be much easier for me than going up and pressing it for like 2 seconds. And so these 2 points, I think Apple should have thought about them. And also the mute switch was iconic, like it has been around since iPhone 2G, so I really love it. And it was very convenient. You can anytime see that if you are on mute or not, because you don't really want to open your phone and check if you are on mute. But one good thing about this action button, which is very unlike Apple, is that they gave us total control of it, and they also allowed shortcuts on it. Like you can literally program this button to do anything you want on your phone. Such kind of customization is not expected from Apple usually. Also coming from the 13 Pro Max, you'll notice that the phone has a dynamic island, which is it's not much beneficial, to be honest. It just looks cool. Dynamic island itself, Apple was just trying to save their ass, and they made a UI around it, but people loved it, and now they're bragging about it. As you can see, it blocks more content than a normal notch. Then secondly, the biggest thing about the iPhone 15 Max has been the lightning cable. Like you can easily borrow a charger from an Android user, or an Android user can borrow a charger from you, which is like really helpful. You can also charge other people's phone with your phone. Like that's cool. I may use it to charge my AirPods sometimes. And the always on display, like Apple literally came years after Samsung when the always on display came. But they came with a bang. The whole display lights up when the always display is on, which is not something I like, because I don't want my phone to be always on so that I'm always worried about looking at it. Like I'm literally trying to divert my attention from my phone because I'm always on it. I'm not really a fan of it, but it's really nice to. And also there's a new very handy feature, like you can connect 2 of your phones and your contact can be transferred, or your AirDrop, you can transfer file using connecting your phones, which is also a 17 feature. You can use it on 13 Pro Max or 14 Pro Max, but yeah, it's really cool. Okay, so now let's talk about the performance. iPhone 15 Pro Max is a big jump from iPhone 13 Pro Max and also from the 14 Pro Max. It's based on the new 3nm process from TSMC, which is iPhone 13 Pro Max had like 15 billion transistors, and 15 Pro Max has like 19 billion transistors. We're talking billions, a lot of transistors in this. Also, it goes from 5-core GPU to 6-core GPU with ray tracing, and the GPU here is crazy. Apple literally gave us the console level games in here. Like you can play the console version of the Resident Evil Village on this phone. Can you believe? So if you compare the Geekbench score, 13 Pro Max is at like 5600, while the 15 Pro Max is at 7200, and that's a big jump, I think. And the Antutu from the iPhone 13 Pro Max is at 850,000. Antutu from the 15 Pro Max is at 1.65 million, which is like double. So this phone is really powerhouse. But one thing that you will notice after the 13 Pro Max is that the new phone has 48 megapixels of camera, which if you shoot raw, which is a very detailed photo. Not talking about the camera, the main white camera, Apple has increased the size of the sensor, which literally means sensor will be getting more light and it's going to be creating a better image in low light, and there will be more background blur. Both of the things I love. Not talking about the zoom, which is like the highlight of this phone. You get 5x zoom, like you can literally zoom 5 times, which is a really good feature. Like optical zoom is always nice, but I don't use zoom that much in my real life. It's like a gimmick for me. But the downside is with the 13 Pro Max 3x zoom, I could easily take beautiful portraits with optically increased focal length, which makes portrait photos look more beautiful. But with 15 Pro Max, I don't think so I'll be taking any portraits at 5x because I will literally have to go a mile away to take that photo. But talking about the portrait mode, Apple now allows you to take any photo, convert it into a portrait photo later on, which is a really nice feature because before 15 Pro Max, you used to shoot 2 pictures every time, one in the normal photo mode, one in the portrait mode, and now I don't have to worry about that. Shifting from the 13 Pro Max, you will also get the action mode, which is like the super stabilized mode for taking video, which will literally make your phone like a gimbal. But I don't think so I will be using it in real life, but let's see. Samsung was on 10x camera and they literally downgraded to 5x camera. They literally went from 10x to 5x because iPhone went to 5x. Weird thing, weird Samsung. Okay, so coming to the ultra wide camera, which I use a lot because I'm also a vlogger. So the ultra wide camera is now, the sensor is bigger, the aperture is smaller. You'll literally be getting better ultra wide photos and videos, which I'm a fan of. One thing that I noticed that not a lot of people are talking about is the flash on iPhone 15 Pro Max is much more focused than the flash on 13 Pro Max. Like it doesn't spill much, which I think is a bad thing, but let's see how it pans out in the real world. Okay, so best thing about this new phone is that now you can record log, and as I'm now shooting log on my camera, and I can also shoot log on my phone. Log like literally gives you a whole control over your image. You can color grade your image so much better in post. You might have seen Apple's new Vision Pro headset, like that literally makes your eyes, your mouse, and your hands your clicks, and you can literally control the UI. Real awesome thing from Apple. Now you can record 3D videos for it, which are not literally 3D videos, but kind of an immersive effect. But you can shoot that with iPhone 15 Pro Max. But the one bad thing about the 15 Pro Max is literally within 2 to 3 years, Apple has not upgraded their front camera, which they really should upgrade now. They have been using it for a long time. Probably it's because of the dynamic island. Maybe they don't have space to fit a bigger camera in there, but they really should think about it because you want a better camera. Even though it's good, but you want better.
Okay, so if we talk about the front cameras, we can obviously see that the camera on the 15 Pro Max is much more sharper and the dynamic range is better. And if you can see that around me, there is much less bloom on 15 Pro Max as compared to 13 Pro Max. I mean, it's better, but as it has been using the old sensor, there are not major changes. So I hope Apple bring those major changes in the next iterations of the iPhone.
Now, because the 15 Pro Max has a little bit larger battery than the 13 Pro Max and also much efficient chip here, A17 Pro. 13 Pro Max had like a crazy battery life, but the 15 Pro Max is on par with it. The 13 Pro Max goes to 1200 nits peak brightness, but the 15 Pro Max goes to a mind-boggling 2000 nits peak brightness. But is it worth upgrading from 13 Pro Max to 15 Pro Max? If you don't have spare cash lying around, don't buy it. You're good with 13 Pro Max. Literally, after 2 years of using 13 Pro Max, I did not feel any upgrade on shifting to iPhone 15 Pro Max. I think you can easily use it for 3 to 4 years if the battery health doesn't bug you much. The biggest reason I'm upgrading from 13 Pro Max is the battery health, because I don't want to repair my battery. I would just rather get a new phone. Don't think that you really need to upgrade to it. If you want to, do it, but you don't really need to. So guys, if you enjoyed this video, please subscribe and comment down your thoughts. Also, if you hit the subscribe button, I will really appreciate it because I really need it. So see you guys in the next video.